We have trimmed our ways to seek love.
That's right.
We want the love of this oppressor so bad that we want to join with him and be everything that he represents. Loving all of the wickedness that he represents. That's the last thing we should be doing. We need to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments so we can understand who we are supposed to be. If your father is on the 12 tribes chart, this chart here, then you are an Israelite. And you are supposed to be separate from this oppressor. You are supposed to be absolutely separate from this oppressor. We should not be celebrating these holidays. We should not be eating shrimp, pork, crab, lobster. We have a dietary law that we're supposed to be following. What? We have to keep our culture and our heritage, which means we have to be absolutely separate from this oppressor and not desire the peace that we normally do.
One Westboro.
Right. This is why we gotta love one another. So what the brother said something to you ain't like, forgive that brother. So what that brother stuffed on your toe? What you gonna kill him for that?
Not allowing your brother in the behavior, bro.
Man, here's something wrong.
Palestinians that was George Floyd was unalive. When Sandra Bland was unalive.
Just to make it known, steady, ready, better watch your tone. I was 5'7", I was breaking my hand up. 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9/11, I was in my zone. Lose the argument, I lose your throne. Who ain't no running up? Damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawn, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the sign. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for the tracks, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, you're sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of weeks, so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine.
You better open this Bible. You better come back here and learn what it really says, because guess what? The people you've been learning the Bible from, they've been lying to you.
We are the ISUPK, started out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or any Christian organization. Since 1969, we've been bringing out the truth of the Bible, that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true children of Israel, the true nation that this Bible is talking about. Give me Jeremiah 2:33. And we have to understand that because we are so oppressed, because we are so destroyed, we have had a desire to have peace with this oppressor. And that desire has absolutely destroyed us. Wanting to join with this oppressor has absolutely destroyed us. We can never come together. We are supposed to be absolutely separate. That's what the Most High said in Deuteronomy. We are supposed to be separate from this nation. We are not supposed to be trying to make peace and desiring peace. We shouldn't have a desire to have peace with this oppressor. You got what I need? 2:33. Jeremiah 2:33. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou the way to seek love?
Why trimmest thou way? We have trimmed our ways. We have a certain culture that is in this Bible. The Christian church will have you believe that this Bible is a religious book. That's a lie. This Bible is a culture, is a heritage. It's a set of rules for a nation, the 12 tribes of Israel. It has nothing to do with any kind of religion. And we are supposed to have a certain way that we live. We are supposed to have a certain way that we operate. We are not supposed to be celebrating Thanksgiving. We are not supposed to be celebrating Christmas. We are not supposed to be celebrating New Year's Eve. All of these things are our attempt to have peace with this oppressor. What we're supposed to be doing is celebrating the feast of dedication, or Hanukkah. That's falling in December. Actually, December 25th this year, we canceling Christmas. How about that?
That's right.
That's what we're supposed to be doing as a nation. Matter of fact, we're supposed to be following and celebrating Passover, the Feast of Purim, the Feast of First Fruits, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. These are the things that we should be doing. But no, we trimmed our ways in an attempt to have peace with this oppressor. I tell you what else, the brother said earlier, we are a masculine nation. Listen, life is about warfare. And when you understand the actual Bible in what city, it's all about warfare. The 12 tribes of Israel fighting and going to war with these nations so we can keep our culture, so we can keep our heritage. And that's who we are. But no, we trim our ways. We trim our ways because this oppressor, rather, we be soft. That's why the alphabet mafia or the alphabet community destroys our nation because it forces us to be weak and soft. And we think that's the right thing. We think that's the right thing to have peace with this oppressor, but it's not. We are supposed to be masculine. That's who we are and that's our culture. Keep going.
Therefore, hast thou also taught the wicked ones the ways.
So like you start from the top.
Verse 33, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
We have trimmed our ways to seek love.
That's right.
We want the love of this oppressor so bad that we want to join with him and be everything that he represents. Loving all of the wickedness that he represents. That's the last thing we should be doing. We need to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments so we can understand who we are supposed to be. If your father is on the 12 tribes chart, this chart here, then you are an Israelite. And you are supposed to be separate from this oppressor. You are supposed to be absolutely separate from this oppressor. We should not be celebrating these holidays. We should not be eating shrimp, pork, crab, lobster. We have a dietary law that we're supposed to be following.
Right.
We have to keep our culture and our heritage, which means we have to be absolutely separate from this oppressor and not desire the peace that we normally do. Give me Daniel 8 and 25. Following this oppressor, joining with this oppressor completely destroys our community. It completely destroys our nation. It destroys our families. There's so much that we have suffered at the hands of this oppressor for nations, for generations, for decades, for centuries, trying to find peace. Trying to find peace with this oppressor, we have destroyed ourselves. Trying to find peace with this oppressor, we have turned our daughters into whores. Trying to find peace with this oppressor, we have told our children that, you know what, it's okay. Little girl, it's all right. You can go out and show your entire body on national TV, and that's your right.
That's right.
Joining with this oppressor, we have taught our daughters that, you know what, if you're not happy, you should just leave. You should just leave your marriage and completely destroy your family. Because that's what the Christian church and this oppressor has taught us. Daniel 8 and 25. You got it? Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 29. Verse 25. And through his policy.
Through his policy. This is talking about the oppressor. Listen, this government, the Constitution, the House of Representatives, the Senate, all this legislation that this oppressor passes, that's his strength. That's his strength, and he does things in steps. He does things in steps to make sure that we stay destroyed as a people. Read it again, Baba Kushan.
Verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper.
Through his policy, he causes craft to prosper. What does it mean by craft? That means deceit. That means subtleness, cunning. Through his policy, he causes craft to prosper. Guess what? He did that with Planned Parenthood. He did that with abortion. Listen, even subtly, by those terms, right? When it, decades ago when they were having debates about it, it was just abortion. Then eventually it turned to women's rights. Then eventually it turned to reproductive rights. That's what they were debating at this last presidential election. Reproductive rights. That sounds like something everybody wants. That's the craftiness of this oppressor, though. Because it's not reproductive rights, it's homicide.
That's
it's
right.
Absolute destruction of a people. And understand, since 1973, black and brown babies have been aborted at a rate of 20 million. 20 million lives of our children that weren't allowed to see the light of day. Because he was crafty. He was crafty in his policies. Read it again.
Sir. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper.
He caused craft to prosper through his policy. Now listen. Just now, like with Roe versus Wade, that was passed, and then they just recently overturned it, right? So now Roe versus Wade is not in place anymore. And that's why it was such a discussion, such a debate about the homicide of our children or abortion, right? But guess what? It hasn't gone anywhere. It's not going away. They just shifted it from a federal law to the states. Well, understand this. He has used his craft and his policies to line his pockets. Planned Parenthood and abortion is a $4.3 billion industry. You think that's going away? You think this oppressor is gonna not take that money? That's an absolute lie. He will keep his pockets lined. Read it again.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper.
Through his policy, he causes craft to prosper. I'll give you another. The so-called war on drugs. The so-called war on drugs was something that he said, you know what? We're going to pass policies and laws that we're going to help you guys in your neighborhood. If you're black Latino, we're going to help you in your neighborhood. We're going to clean it up with these policies. All the while, he was pumping drugs into our communities on purpose. Read it again.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he causeth craft to prosper.
You want to know why they won't actually stop the drugs that comes into this community, into our communities? Because they make too much money off of it.
That's right.
They make too much money off of locking our brothers up. They make too much money off destroying our families. They make too much money off of taking the father out of the house. This is what this oppressor has done. I'll give you another one. Read it again.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he causeth craft to prosper.
I'll give you another one. Welfare. Welfare. They told our sisters, guess what? Take some money. I know it's hard out here. Inflation. You and your man aren't making enough money. We, as the government, the oppressor, we're going to look out for you. We're going to put something in your pocket. The only catch is you got to take the father out of the home. He can't be there. If he's there, then we will give you absolutely no help. Well, what's the result of that? Our brothers get out in the street. Our brothers got nowhere to stay. Now the family's destroyed. Now you have delinquents coming up. Guess what? Now you have a school to prison pipeline. And what does he do? He gets absolutely paid off the legal enslavement of our people. Read it again.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he causes craft to prosper.
He causes craft to prosper. The destruction of our people, the destruction of our nation is what benefits and gets profit for this oppressor. I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more. How about this? Joe Biden signed a law that said you could no longer employ privately operated prisons. That sounds like a great thing. You can no longer have a private company operating a prison. But what they didn't tell you, what he didn't tell you in his craftiness, what he didn't tell you in his subtleness, what he didn't tell you in his sneakiness, is that that doesn't apply to so-called illegal immigrants. So guess what? Now, while they don't lock up so-called prisoners, they lock up illegal immigrants at record rates in those same institutions. And you know what they said? The owners of those businesses, they said it's an unprecedented opportunity to make money. Keep going.
In his hand he shall magnify himself.
He magnifies himself. He magnifies himself in his heart. With these policies, he magnifies himself. Donald Trump just got elected. Listen, who got your text? Who got your report to the plantation text? This is what's happening right now. These oppressors feel magnified. Donald Trump was fired, yet got his job back. Did he ever make America great again? No. We are exactly in the same spot. Guess what? We're in a worse situation as black, Latinos, and Native Americans. Read it again.
Verse 25, chapter 8, verse Daniel 25. It's like, and through his policy also he shall cause the craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself.
He magnifies himself. Listen, these white supremacists are so aggressive now, and they're going to continue to be. They're going to continue to be because they are magnified in their mind. White supremacy is what put Donald Trump back in office.
That's right.
And they are magnified by that. In their mind, you can't tell them nothing. And it's going to get horrible. Listen, if you are black, Latino, or Native American, you need to come in here. You need to come into the ISUPK under command of General Your Honor. Get back to the law, statutes, and commandments so you can have the protection of the Most High. Because it's about to get ugly out here.
That's right. Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one